Hey, good morning. This is Rob from Tampa, Florida. I'm sitting in beautiful Hyde Park Village this morning, enjoying a cup of coffee on a brisk, clear Sunday morning. Brisk for us. It dropped below 60 last night, so we started a fire. This is a very long overdue video, and I appreciate everyone's patience, and I absolutely appreciate everyone's subscriptions and their support so far. Quick appreciation to early riser who has got behind the class of 2018 and shown us incredible support and trail magic so far. Just a little about me. I've had questions about folks wanting to get to know me, and this is, I suppose, the purpose of this video. I have lived in Tampa since 2005. I grew up in Georgia. I grew up in the foothills of the Appalachian mountain start there at Springer Mountain. And as a Boy Scout, we used to hike Blood Mountain, and I've probably hiked many of the miles in Georgia, camped them, and really enjoyed them. And as a hobby, over the last 4 or 5 years, I've picked a hiker or two and followed them throughout their thru-hike. And many of you are following Scars. I've been spreadsheet camping or spreadsheet thru-hiking for the last 3 or 4 years, just as a hobby. Having a conversation with a friend of mine about going to New York in May, and I made the comments like, I think I'll just walk, and that kind of led me to think, is that an actual possibility? So I spent a few weeks actually looking at it logistically, professionally, personally, to see if that was something that I could actually do. And what I found was I just had to make a commitment and get behind doing it. So that's what I did. And had a conversation. I was given my trail name shortly after that conversation, which was Windjammer. Two things that I am very passionate about. One is sailing. I could spend 30 minutes on a sailboat, and it would be the same as a week at Club Med, disconnected from everything. It's just a therapy that, for whatever reason, it's special to me, and I love being on the water and around the water. I am retired Navy, and through my professional career and my personal sailing, I've sailed about 950,000 miles. So there's a lot of people that travel 1 million miles in their life. I've got almost that much sailing or being on the water, transiting the world's oceans or whatnot. So love being on the water. The second passion is being in the woods. And one of the things that Early Riser talked about on his thru-hike this year was the Matrix. And I spend time in the outdoors and the quiet whenever I can, because I've lived in densely urban populated areas for a while now, and you get this buzz in your ear. And when I get into the outdoors and I close my eyes, I can hear that buzz. It usually takes a day or two for it to go away. So I'm very much looking forward to the thru-hike and kind of disconnecting from the Matrix a bit. And so there's a lot of work to be done. I owe a gear video. I've been kind of amassing gear. I think I've been tracking gear for about 3 years and watching what people have used. And I know what I like. Few years ago, about 3 years ago, after Christmas, between New Year's, I went up to Amicalola and hiked to the Springer Mountain up the approach trail and camped out up there for a couple nights. It was a 3-day, 2-night trip, basically. And I did it by myself. It was very refreshing, got rid of the buzz, and realized I had a pack that was too small. In other words, the weight that I was carrying was about 30 pounds. And I carried a 30-pound pack in a 50-degree bag, and the temperatures got down below 20. So there was, there's a disconnect of about 15 or 20 years of spending quality time in the outdoors and what I did on that trip. And it was an awareness. It was an awareness that, even though I'm educated to, winter survival camping and things like that, the practice of it is something considerably different. So I spent some time really focusing on what's comfortable for me, what I want to do. I'm hovering around about a 17-pound base weight right now, waiting on Enlightened Equipment to send me my quilt. But I've got most of my gear, and I should be able to do a pretty solid gear review. I can say this: I'm not going to present anything in my gear review that, for those of you who have tracked any other hiker, have seen and understand. Gear's personal to the hiker. It's very important to our comfort, our morale, and our safety. So I'll get that up here in a day or so, but I just definitely wanted to get this introductory video going, and to digress a bit. My trail name came from a friend of mine, and Windjammer, and those in the sailing world. Windjammers are very large transport ships that are old, so it seemed to fit well, and it had a nice ring to it. So I graciously accepted the trail name. I didn't give it to myself, so that's one of the criteria. And so I like it. I'm going to move forward with it. And yeah, that's pretty much it for right now. Just a quick video. I'll come back later, add a little bit more to this, and get this posted up today for the folks that have asked for it. And again, I humbly appreciate your patience and your support so far. I am truly looking forward to this through hike. I plan to start February 1st. If things come together, I may transition on up to Georgia and maybe start a week early. But right now I'm planning for February 1st. Just remember, everything takes longer than you expect. So February 1st is the plan. I think I'll do the approach trail on the 31st, and then step off on February 1st. And we'll kind of go from there. More later.